Okay, practice questions part 8. I tried to make these harder today to try to challenge you all, see where you're at, see how the studying is going. Okay, if you like my videos, give me a like, give me a subscribe. It helps me, it supports me. I appreciate you all. Okay, check out our website for all the study materials, the blog, everything else. I also have the links down here to the study materials. They're going to be in the comments and descriptions. So check those out. Other than that, keep studying hard and let's get into it. All right. The y-axis in a line graph is also called, so starting off with a definition question, okay, a harder definition question. And this is one that really shows if you've been studying or not, right? Have you been using the study guide? Have you been really looking at your terms, okay? Because if you don't know your terms, you're just going to have to guess on this one, right? So that's the difference between a really easy terminology question and a really hard terminology question, right? You just need to know your terms and definitions. So what is the y-axis in a line graph called? Is it an abscissa, an ordinate, horizontal, or variable? So you should be able to eliminate C, right? Because the y-axis is not horizontal and variable is not one of our axes. So you're left with the abscissa and an ordinate, okay? So the answer is ordinate, right? The y-axis is also called the ordinate. The x-axis, okay, is the abscissa. All right. So again, just a terminology question, right? If you've been studying your terms, very easy. If not, more difficult, right? I can't stress enough how important it is to know your terms, know your definitions. Okay. The y-axis is also called an ordinate. Tokens are considered what? All right. So very straightforward question, right? What are tokens considered? Are they primary reinforcers, unconditioned reinforcers, conditioned reinforcers, or punishers, right? So remember, what are our primary reinforcers? What are what reinforces us without any learning history, right? Food, shelter, water. Okay, things like that are primary reinforcers. Or tokens reinforcing, okay, without any learning, right? Or do we need to learn that tokens are reinforcing? Okay, how do we do that? Well, to teach that tokens are reinforcing, you pair it with something else. Okay, so they're not primary reinforcers, right? They're not unconditioned. Okay, remember A and B are the same thing. Primary and unconditioned reinforcers are the same thing. So what are you doing? You're conditioning, okay, these tokens to be reinforcers by pairing them with breaks and food and other things. Okay, so tokens are considered conditioned reinforcers. Okay, um, tokens might be punishers, right? It just depends on the situation. But what is the best answer here? Okay, what is the most general answer? The best answer, and that is conditioned reinforcers. Bill is teaching his client to identify different types of fruit. Bill says, find apple. Bill's client reaches for the banana, but Bill redirects his client before he can touch banana. Bill repeats this each time his client is about to make a mistake. What procedure is this? Okay, kind of a tricky question. All right, this is harder. Um, it's something that's really going to test if you've been reviewing. Okay, so what is Bill doing here? Bill says find apple. Bill's client reaches for the banana. Okay, but Bill prevents his client from answering incorrectly. Okay, he redirects him before he can answer, and he makes him touch apple, and he reinforces. Okay, so he's preventing his client from making a mistake. What is this? Is this naturalistic? No, we can't determine if this is naturalistic. Okay, it seems like it's contrived. We just don't have enough information, so we're not sure if it's naturalistic or not. A is not a good answer. B, prompt fading. It's Is Bill fading any prompts? No, he's actually increasing prompts, right? He's using physical redirection and physical prompts. Okay, so B is out. C, errorless learning. Well, this looks pretty good, right? What is Bill doing? He's preventing his client from making an error. Okay. He's teaching, okay, errorless learning, right? So, errorless learning is good for very young clients or you're teaching a new skill and you want to prevent as many mistakes as possible, okay, because you want to be able to reinforce the correct behavior. errors lead to more errors. Okay, so errorless learning is really popular for young clients and teaching new skills because you're preventing errors from happening and you're only reinforcing the right behavior. Okay, and then D, interval training. There's no time involved, right? There's no sort of interval training going on, no interval reinforcement. D is out. So C, errorless learning. Okay, Bill's preventing his client from making an error, all right, while he's teaching them. You're driving down the road and see a billboard for 3-for-1 donuts at the next exit. You start to crave donuts and take the next exit. You pull up to the restaurant and see a sign lit up that says hot and fresh donuts available. What is the SD in this situation? Be careful here, okay? Tricky question. They're asking you a couple different, or they're saying a couple different things, right? You see a billboard, you crave donuts, okay? You're driving and you see a sign. What is the SD though? Okay. Remember, what does the SD do? What does the discriminative stimuli do? It signals that something is available, right? So it's saying this is available, okay, come in or whatever, right? So A, driving down the road, that's not an SD, right? It's just a behavior, okay? The billboard advertising donuts. What does the billboard do? Okay. You see the billboard, you start to crave donuts. The billboard makes you want donuts. What is that then? The billboard is a MO. It's a motivating operation, okay? It's making you want donuts, but just because you see a billboard doesn't mean donuts are available, right? Maybe the exit is closed, the restaurant's closed, maybe it's an old billboard. So just because there's an MO that makes you want something doesn't mean it's available. Not until an SD, okay, is that reinforcement available. So what is telling us that the donuts are available? What is the SD? The lit sign that says hot and fresh donuts. So you get to the restaurant, sign is lit up, okay? It says hot and fresh donuts available. There's your SD, okay? You now know donuts are available inside, okay? And then D, you craving donuts? No. C, lit sign that says hot and fresh donuts, okay? Really good MOSD question. Review this one over and over until you really, really understand that an MO makes you want it. The SD says it's available. Not until an SD, okay, is it actually available. Gloria is teaching her client how to order food at a restaurant. After many sessions of practice, Gloria takes her client to the nearby sushi restaurant. At the restaurant, the waiter asks the client, "What would you like?" The client responds, "1 California roll, please." What type of verbal behavior is this? So this question is tricky because in the beginning, it seems like they're going to ask you one thing, right? Okay, she's teaching her client something, right? And then she goes take her client to a restaurant. But what they're asking about really is the interaction, okay? They're asking what type of verbal behavior is the waiter asking the client, "What would you like?" And the client responding, "1 California roll, please." So what type of verbal behavior is this? Is it an intraverbal, a mand, a tact, or an echoic? Okay. So a lot of people might say mand, right? Well, they're making a request. Okay. But remember what the mand, okay, a mand is evoked by MOs, by motivating operations. Okay. A mand is in response to an SD. Okay. A mand is because you want something and then you request it. Okay. Is this happening in this situation, or is the client responding to somebody? The client is responding to the waiter. Okay. Therefore, it's an intraverbal. That's the key, right? If the client or you are responding to somebody, it's an intraverbal. Even if you're asking for something, right? You're asking for something because the waiter asked you first. Okay. So you responded with your request, right? A mand is with motivating operations. There's no initial ask. Okay. It's just you or your client requesting something. That's the difference. An intraverbal, okay, is a response, and the client is responding to the waiter. Now, is it a tact? No. What's a tact? A tact is just a label. So if the client had walked in and pointed at the sushi and said sushi, that might be a tact. And then echoic is just imitation or repeating, okay? So if the waiter asked, "What would you like?" and the client said, "What would you like?" that would be an echoic. But in this case, it's an intraverbal, okay? So these are the 4 verbal behaviors, verbal operants you want to know, okay, and be familiar with, because they might ask you questions like this on the exam. Your BCBA asks you to transport your client's binder full of data and personal information from the clinic to the client's house. Where is the best place to keep these items? Okay, so you have a binder full of personal data, personal information, okay, HIPAA, right? HIPAA laws. You have to respect their privacy. Okay, you have to be very careful with this data, right? Where is the best place to keep these items? Okay, this is a very popular thing they want to ask, and make sure, right, you're being diligent and being responsible with this personal information. So, where should you keep these? On the seat of your front car. Okay, on the front seat of your car. Well, no, right? The data is just out there in the open, right? What if your car gets broken into? Okay, what if somebody's riding with you and they start flipping through it? Okay, you're not protecting the privacy of that client. So A is out. B, tucked under the passenger seat. Same thing, your car gets broken into, somebody riding with you starts leafing through it. Okay, are you protecting the privacy of your client? No, right? If you're transporting anything for the client, you need to respect their privacy, right? You're not supposed to discuss clients in public where other people can listen, okay? You have to respect the privacy of a client because not all clients, okay, want their business out there, okay? So HIPAA and just ethically, you need to respect their privacy. C, you aren't allowed to transport this data. Not necessarily. If your BCBA requested you transport the data, then you're allowed to, right? Now, you shouldn't just take things around, right, without getting permission. But if your BCBA trusts you and they ask you to do it, then you're sure you're allowed to. So we've eliminated A, B, and C. So D, locked in your trunk. Okay. So this is the best spot for it. Okay. It's locked away in your trunk, right? At least it's protected. Okay. Now, of course, there are more secure ways you could keep the data, right, in a lockbox or whatever. But given this scenario, locked in your trunk is better than the three alternatives. Okay, this is the best way you're protecting privacy. Okay, protecting this data, right, being responsible. So D, locked in your trunk. Tommy teaches his client to greet his friends with "Hey." Tommy's client now greets his friends with "Hello, what's up, and how's it going?" What is this client doing? So, what are they doing, right? You taught them "Hey," and they say "Hey" to their friend, and now the client says "Hello" to their friend, "What's up, how's it going?" What are they doing? Well, we know they're generalizing, okay, but what kind of generalization? So if you know your definition, you can immediately eliminate C, right? There's no maintenance going on. We're not testing for maintenance, okay? And there's no trial to criterion going on. So it's either A or B. So what is A? Response generalization, okay? Remember, what is response generalization? It's when you have the same, okay, stimuli or SD and a bunch of different responses, okay? You teach "Hey," and now you have 4 different responses serving a similar function but looks different. What is happening here? You have one response, okay, and then it generalizes to 3 different responses that serve the same function, okay, but look different. So response generalization, okay, is a good answer. What is stimulus generalization, right? It's the opposite, okay? You have one response that you teach that you're able to do on a variety of stimuli. So sitting down, right? You can sit in a chair, you can sit on a couch, you can sit on a stool. Same response generalized to a bunch of stimulus. In this scenario, okay, the bunch of different responses, okay, generalized to the same stimuli. So the answer is A. This is one of the harder topics for RBTs to understand, okay? So my advice is to study this stuff last. This and differential reinforcement, I think, are the 2 hardest concepts for RBTs to grasp, okay? So if this is really confusing you, get everything down, okay? Learn everything else, and then come to generalization. They might ask you 1 or 2 questions on this. A previously reinforced behavior is no longer reinforced. What is this? This should be, the easiest question on the exam for you guys by now. If you've been studying, a previously reinforced behavior is no longer reinforced. What is that? Simple terminology, simple definition. Is it reinforcement? No, clearly not. No longer reinforced. Is it punishment? No, nothing's decreasing. We're not adding or taking away anything. Okay, we're actually taking away reinforcement, right? We're not adding any sort of punishment that's decreasing behavior. Okay, so B is out. C, extinction. Yes, right? It's simply a definition question, okay? If you know your terms, know your definitions, this is an easy question, okay? The dishes in your apartment are piled up. You ask your roommate if they can wash them. Your roommate complies and cleans the dishes. You hand them $5. Your roommate starts to wash the dishes more. What happened? So let's break it down, okay? Your dishes are all piled up, okay? You don't want to wash them. So you ask your roommate, hey, can you wash the dishes? Your roommate says yes, and they clean the dishes. So the antecedent is what? You ask your roommate the behavior, your roommate cleans the dishes. What's the consequence? You hand them $5. What happens? Your roommate starts to wash the dishes more. Your roommate's dishwashing behavior increased. What do we know about behavior increasing? It's reinforcement, right? We reinforced it. So now that we know we've reinforced it, okay, did we add something or did we take something away? What was the consequence? You hand them $5. We added the $5. Therefore, what? Our behavior decreased because we added something. Our behavior increased, increased because we added something. Therefore, it's positive reinforcement. Don't get confused and see DRO, DRA, right? This is just a really basic reinforcement question, okay? Don't let them confuse you by throwing in other terms, okay, that you know, right, when it's so basic. Negative reinforcement, okay? Behavior increases, but we've taken something away. In this scenario, we added something, behavior increased, therefore it's positive reinforcement. Timmy and Tommy are playing a board game together. Timmy steals Tommy's prize card. Tommy tells his mom. Timmy's mom takes away Tommy's dessert. Timmy stopped stealing Tommy's prize card. What happened? Okay, that should be Timmy's dessert. Okay, so Timmy's mom takes Timmy's dessert away, and Timmy stopped stealing Tommy's prize card. What happened? So let's break it down. Okay, Timmy and Tommy are playing a board game together. Timmy steals Tommy's prize card. Tommy tells his mom. Timmy's mom takes away Timmy's dessert. So what happened? Okay, the antecedent was Timmy steals Tommy's prize card. Behavior. Tommy tells his mom. Consequence. Timmy's mom takes away Tommy's dessert. Okay, so what is happening here, right? Timmy in the future stopped stealing Tommy's prize card. So what happened? Did behavior increase or decrease? Timmy's behavior decreased. So is it reinforcement or punishment? Punishment. Okay. Did we add or take anything away? Well, what happened? Mom took away Timmy's dessert. Okay. So we took away something that decreased behavior. What is that? Negative punishment. Okay. So it's the same idea as our reinforcement. Are we adding something or taking something away? Is behavior increasing or is behavior decreasing? Okay. In this case, Timmy's mom took away Timmy's dessert. Negative. She took something away. Timmy stopped stealing Tommy's prize card. Behavior decreases, punishment. B, negative punishment. Which of the following is not a function of behavior? Okay. Again, super easy question, right? You should know your 4 functions. What are they? Escape, automatic, attention, tangible. Okay, so let's look at our answer choices. Escape, automatic, attention, control. Okay, so this could be a tricky question depending on who you talk to, because a lot of people want to say control is the 5th function, right? But it's only in theory, okay? The 4 functions of behavior are escape, automatic, attention, and tangible, okay? Control is not a function of a behavior, right? There's only 4, okay? So again, super easy question if you know your terms, if you know your definitions. All right, that'll do it. Like, subscribe, right? All the study materials are below, okay? Thank you for the support and keep studying hard.